One more mailbag here on the Chiefs Report. I'm your host, Harrison Graham, answering all of your questions. So for producer Jack to find them, all you got to do is use hashtag Chiefs, or you can super chat. Jackson Klein, first up here. Why did Nick Bolton only play 38% of the defensive snaps? That is the one thing happening right now that I don't agree with from Spags. Now, I can't really argue with him too much because the defense clearly has been playing better. But Nick Bolton in the month of October was Defensive Rookie of the Month. And once Anthony Hitchens gets healthy, they just cut his snap rate in half. I don't care that Hitchens is a vet. Nick Bolton should be playing more. Like, Nick Bolton and Willie Gay Jr. is the future at linebacker for Kansas City. I mean, Anthony Hitchens should be able to have some positional flexibility to slide from Mike to Sam if he needs to. He's been around for long enough. He should be able to understand the defense. But they value Hitch at Mike, so Bolton's been kind of a rotation guy the past couple of weeks. I don't agree with it, but you can't completely argue with the results because they just held the Packers to 7 points and the Raiders to 14 points. Rasta Kaufman, what playoff seed could we be at the end of the year? Gosh. The 1 seed is probably out of reach because Tennessee is up 2 games on you and they beat you head-to-head. So you're basically 3 games back with, 7 to go. It's not completely impossible. Derrick Henry being gone now certainly at least leaves that door open. But the 2 seed is very much up for grabs. Buffalo's 6-3. Chiefs are 6-4. They're right there. Baltimore and Pittsburgh at 6-3, 5-3-1. I mean, you lost to Baltimore head-to-head, so you need a little bit of help there. But if you beat Dallas this week, the rest of the schedule is pretty manageable. So I think the 2 seed is very much in play, but whether you're the 2 or 3, I don't think it makes a huge difference. I would like to jump ahead of the 4 seed, though. I'd like to get in that 2 or 3 spot to have a more favorable matchup in the first round. Got a super chat from Parth Patel. Appreciate it. Should Byron Pringle be the number 2 receiver instead of Robinson and Hardman? Well, Robinson, for the most part, is kind of like wide receiver 4 or 5. I know he had 1 or 2 catches against the Raiders, but Josh Gordon's been out snapping him. He's just not getting targets for whatever reason. I like Pringle's more reliable than Hardman. It's just a pure route runner and pass catcher. Now, Hardman obviously has more explosiveness. You can use him in different ways as a gadget player that you can't use Pringle, but that's a different role. I'd be totally fine with Pringle getting more opportunities. Ran a great route on that 5th touchdown for Patrick Mahomes. We know he's a smooth route runner. Do I think he's a long-term solution as a number 2 receiver? No, I think he's more of a number 3, but that's still a good role in this offense. Like, if you're the number 3 receiver for the Chiefs, that's pretty damn good, and I think Pringle has earned that opportunity. CM Dump, biggest threats to Kansas City in the AFC? This is a good question. We kind of just talked about what seed the Chiefs could end up with. These are the top 5 teams of the AFC currently, in my opinion. This is not based on record. This is not in a particular order. I just think these 5 teams stand out to me at this point in time. Buffalo, I know they've had a weird few games this year, but I saw this team hammer Kansas City and Arrowhead. That impressed me. Obviously, I think the Chiefs are still in this group. Tennessee crushed the Chiefs, hammered the Rams without Derrick Henry. They're 8-2. Got to give them credit. They're playing good football. Baltimore just lost to Miami, but look, Lamar's playing at a good level this year. That defense is solid. They have to be considered a contender. And then New England. Guys, Patriots, they're freaking good, man. That defense is loaded. Mac Jones is playing well. My producer's a Patriots fan. He's doing cartwheels, and we're never going to get to the next graphic. But you know what? The Patriots deserve a lot of credit. I would much rather play Cincinnati than New England. That's just my opinion because the Patriots are extremely well coached, as we all know. Who do you guys think is the biggest AFC threat to the Chiefs? Type BUF for the Buffalo Bills. Type BAL for the Baltimore Ravens. Type TN for the Titans. Type NE for the Patriots. If you think it's someone else, let me know in the comments. We'll make this the pinned comment on today's video. So scroll on down and answer this question during this YouTube ad break. All right, next up, Josh Hunter. Do you think the Chiefs re-sign Melvin Ingram after the season? I don't know. Look, you're not going to give a guy like Melvin Ingram major money, but 1-year deal, $4 million, something like that, sure. I mean, if he plays well the rest of the year, I'm certainly not opposed, but the Chiefs are going to have to be selective with who they sign in free agency because they have a ton of big contracts on their books. All right, excuse me. Damian McLaughlin. Who would be the new OC if Bieniemy gets a head coaching job? I think Mike Kafka. I think that's probably what would happen. Kafka is highly regarded around the NFL. He's the quarterback's coach of this team. And Andy Reid calls the play, so it's not like you'd be handing play calling duties to an unproven play caller. So I think that would probably be what happened. You could certainly explore. As someone who covers the Chicago Bears as well, if Matt Nagy gets hired, you could bring him back if you want. Andy Reid's familiar with them, so who knows? Maybe that happens, but I think Kafka, if Bieniemy gets a job, would be the natural, promotion for him. Social anxiety crew. I think Hardman is really good for those jet sweeps and returner. If he worked on his routes and fumble problem, he could be the primary number 2 receiver. Look, he's in year 3. Has he just not been working on his route running? I don't think he's some guys just aren't good route runners. You know what I mean? Like, it just happens. You see this all the time with college players that come to the draft. It's like, man, this guy can fly. He torched quarterbacks in college. Well, yeah, that's just because he was a better athlete. Like, you get these dudes in the NFL, they're not as good at route runners. It's kind of an art. He just may not be good at it. And if that's the case, that caps your ceiling in the NFL, because just because you're faster than someone doesn't mean you're going to get separation in the NFL. The technique of these corners and nickels and safeties, it's extremely good. I don't think he's a number 2 receiver, and I think we've seen for a long enough now that barring a major change, why would we believe that he could become that? Because there's no evidence that he can be that guy. Let me know, Chiefs fans, do you own an NFL jersey? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Let us know in the comments, and if you don't, we got a deal for you guys. If you haven't gotten going with our sportsbook partner, BetUS, get going with them, and we have a deal for you to get you a brand new Chiefs jersey. All you got to do is follow these steps. Go to chatsports.com/ChiefsBet. You got to use that link. That is not optional. You can't just Google BetUS. Otherwise, none of it matters. So type chatsports.com/ChiefsBet into your internet browser. Use the promo code Chiefs125, and then follow the rest of these steps. You got to deposit a minimum of $100, but with that promo code, you'll get $125 for free with the 125% deposit bonus. Then all you got to do, guys, place a bet on any game for any amount. Just go lay $5 on the Chiefs against the Cowboys. Once you do that, email us, jersey@chatsports.com. We'll confirm your account information, and then we will hook you guys up with a brand new jersey. The holidays are here, so maybe if you already have a jersey, as we cycle through some of the ones available here, maybe you can get one for your son. Maybe you can get one for your dad, your buddy, whoever. Email us, jersey@chatsports.com. Let's be honest, if you already have a jersey, just get another one. There's nothing wrong with having multiple in the closet. So go ahead and get going with BetUS by going to chatsports.com/ChiefsBet, and then email us, jersey@chatsports.com. Cole Keller here with a question. Since Josh Gordon has said he wants to stay in Kansas City long term, do you think they're waiting for a specific matchup to get him involved? And if so, what matchup left would be in your mind? I don't really think they're waiting for a specific matchup. He's 6'3", 230 pounds. If he can't get open against certain teams, and why would he be able to against others? I just think that, Mahomes is very familiar with the other players on this roster, and it takes time to build chemistry with receivers, especially in the middle of a season. I'm not opposed to Josh Gordon coming back next year. I hope he has a couple of good games down the stretch. The good news is it's not going to cost the Chiefs or any team that much money to keep Josh Gordon, because with his history, he's not going to get a big contract. So I'm certainly not opposed to it. That being said, when it comes to being, an eventual number 2 receiver, you can't bank on that. You just can't. Paul Soldier, are you confident in our secondary to shut down Cooper and Lamb? Shut down? No. But I'm not confident in any NFL secondary to shut down Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb. You have to pick your battles. You have to say, okay, we're going to try and take one guy out, or we're going to mix up looks on both of them so the Chiefs can frustrate them in that area. During our Chiefs-Cowboys preview, I mentioned you're not going to shut down Dak and these receivers, but can you make them earn it? Can you frustrate them? Can you make it more challenging? Yeah, I think you can do those things, but let's be honest. This Chiefs secondary isn't lights out, and this receiving core for Dallas is pretty damn good. So I think lower the expectations a bit. How about limit these guys, not shut them out? Jensen's weather forecast. Is it too far-fetched to say there's a chance the Chiefs could go 13-4? I mean, I'm not going to just say after one big win against the Raiders that this team's going to win out at this point. Here's what I will say. You play the Cowboys this week at home, then look at the rest of the schedule. Denver at home after the bye week. That's a game you should win. Raiders at home after that. You just hammered them on the road. That's a game you should win. At Chargers on Thursday Night Football. That's the hardest game remaining. And then you finish at home against the Steelers, at the Bengals, and then in Denver. Outside of the Chargers game on the road, and then this week against Dallas, they're going to be pretty heavy favorites the rest of the way. So you beat Dallas this week. I wouldn't rule it out. I think 11-6, 12-5. I think that's kind of if you can get to 11 wins, you're going to win this division. So that's kind of what I would kind of shoot for here. But who knows? I mean, there's no reason why this team can't go on a big run. Chiefs Kingdom, if you're watching live, we are less than 25 subscribers away from 22,000. If you're watching later in the week, we may have already reached this milestone. So thanks to all of you for that. If you haven't subbed already, youtube.com/ChiefsTV, that is the place to go. But just hit that big red button below the video. It's 100% free daily videos and the latest Chiefs news and rumors. Plus, I'm trying to get more new subscribers than Tom Downey and the Cowboys report this week. So help a brother out. We beat the Cowboys off the field. Chances are the Chiefs are going to beat them on the field. That is just science. Jaden Daniels. Is this Arizona State's finest? Should the Chiefs draft a wide receiver in the first round next year? I think it's very much a possibility. It's a good wide receiver class. I mean, what if Chris Olave is sitting there at 30 or wherever the Chiefs are drafting? I'm in. Let's go. Let's get Chris Olave next to Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, and let's ride. I think it's possible. I wouldn't say it's probable, but I do think it's very possible because wide receiver, in my opinion, is a very unproven commodity for this Chiefs roster after Tyreek Hill. What position do you guys think the Chiefs should draft, should prioritize? We'll say in the first round next year. Let me know down in the comments what position should Kansas City draft in 2022. Jacob Kelso, who do you think is the Chiefs' biggest weakness on defense, 56 or 49? So Ben Neiman and Dan Sorensen. How about whichever one gets more snaps? I know that's kind of a cop-out. Look, both have had bad years. I trust Sorensen maybe a tad more overall because he has a history of making plays, whereas Ben Neiman does not. I would probably say 56 in that regard. William Oldham, how do you think Melvin Ingram is doing so far? Solid. Give him like a B, B+. He's gotten some pressure, made a great play on Josh Jacobs in the run game where he shed a block and just kind of lowered his shoulder to stop Jacobs' momentum, so that was a nice play. He's not in his prime, but I think he's been a nice addition and, at the very least, a very good rotation player. The boys, #Chiefs, do you feel the Chiefs are back on track like last year? I think they're trending in a good direction. I think it's premature to say that they're just full-fledged 100% back, but that Raiders game felt different. You feel like this team could be poised to go on a run. You beat the Cowboys on Sunday, yeah, Chiefs are back.